I'm in the Superstition Mountains. We're camping here, and we're looking for Daryl Lane's grandmother's mine from 1927. I'm with Sal Delgadillo. I'm with Robert. I'm with Jim. I'm with Mike Lockwood. But Jim, you came to my our gathering at Moon Lake for the Treasure Hunters gathering, the UFO, the Bigfoot gathering. And you came to it this last summer, but how come you came to that? And tell me you had a little story, a little experience. Talk to me about that.
Well, I came a month early, and just to check out the land. I wanted to see what it was like in Utah. So,
is there anything in particular you was going to check out? I mean, did you check out one of my videos and you was going to go?
Oh, I checked.
You was going to go cash in on one of my treasures, wasn't you?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear about it.
I was an armchair hunter. All right, from my office, and my wife was like, "You need to just go and check this out." So I went, and it was a month before August, so it was in July, and I stopped up in Vernal after my brakes almost gave out. Well, they did give out, but I coasted down behind this truck who also had issues with his brakes. We finally got down off the mountain. I got to Vernal. I stopped and talked to a Native American that was going underneath the name of Bomber because his dad flew B-52 bombers. And he told me how to get to Moon Lake because I said I'd like to go to Moon Lake. I've seen gatherings there. I want to go and check it out because there's supposed to be monsters in the lake. There's supposed to be Spanish mines, and I want to hit the trails and see what I can find. So man, sorry, I'm going to back you up. Yeah.
So when you came into Vernal, you came from the Flaming Gorge side and you hit them big S-turns.
Yes.
That's why your brakes was going bad.
Right,
okay, I got you.
Yeah, and
okay.
They failed on me right next to a trucker who had blown a caliper on the back of one of his rigs, on the back of his trailer. He was pulled over, and I didn't have enough room off the road to sit there. And my brake's cool, so I had to go down the road and hit a runaway truck ramp just to stop my truck and wait.
That's a bad road.
It is a bad road. And I saw my life flash in front of my eyes, so I stopped at the Gateway Bar, and that's where I was having a drink with Bomber.
Okay.
And Bomber told me exactly how to get to Moon Lake, so I took his directions, and I headed to Moon Lake and camped out where Mike, the dowser, that has been to your gatherings, I camped out at his site, hoping that he would show up. And I had all kinds of weird experiences while I was there. I did hit the trails. I went about 2 miles in and then came 2 miles back. But at my campsite, I'd cleaned it up, and I had situations where a dead mouse appeared where I cleaned all the debris up, and it kept moving through the camp. It would move onto the rocks without any trace of how it got there. And I was hearing noises throughout the night, like doors slamming on cars, rusty hinges creaking, tires blowing, and never found anybody or anything that could give me any answers. But anyway, after I finished Moon Lake, camping there for a couple days, I decided to go wash my clothes. So I headed to Duchesne, Utah, where I was just about ready to strip out of the clothes I was wearing, and they didn't have a bathroom, so I was hiding behind a few dryers when all of a sudden one of the Utah boys walked in, Mike Lockwood. And
how'd you know Mike?
From one of your videos.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hi, Mike, how you doing?" He goes, "Who the hell?" And I said, "I'm Jim from Nebraska." He goes, "What is a guy from Nebraska doing calling out my name in a laundromat where I didn't even need to do laundry, but I thought I got nothing else to do, so I'll just get these clothes cleaned up." And it just happened to be by chance that he came in just to grab his clothes out of the dryer that I was in there.
And you recognized him?
I did, because of his rough features. But anyway, yeah, so Mike and I got to talking, and Mike was a little leery because here's some strange man, showing up from another state, calling him out by name, but he was willing to show me different sites that he knew, even sites that he hadn't been to for 18 years. And we went over there and checked out some interesting things, like what he had referred to as the bowels of the earth. And it was neat because I went about 25 feet down, but I never reached bottom because it was another, probably 20 feet, and I needed another rope. But I'll be back.
You'll be back.
I'll be back.
So, man, a guy from Nebraska wanders into Duchesne, Utah, sees a guy that's been on one of my videos, talks to him, and that guy happens to be right here, Mike Lockwood. Man, tell me your side of this story, Mike. What happened? You walked in the laundromat?
Well, Terry, to start with, I did not want to do a video.
I know. I had to twist your arm hard.
For years, you twisted bugged me.
I finally got one out of you.
And Jim's the reason why I didn't want to do that, because I didn't want nobody knowing anything about me or nothing. I would never wanted to have any of that in my life. I had busy anyway, and I didn't. So finally Terry says, well, I'm gonna call him again. And I call him again.
I did. I called you for a couple of years.
Yeah, your wife.
And you kept on putting me off.
Yeah.
You kept on putting me off, man.
Yeah. So he even called me. They went for Christmas to his wife's. Your wife's family lives in Vernal.
Yeah.
So they go see her family, and then Terry called me and say, I'm coming back through Duchesne. Give me a video. No, I'm not gonna do a video. And finally bugs me so much, I figured I might as well do a video, quit this guy from bugging me. Now,
yeah, that's about the only way you're gonna get me quit from bugging me.
You are persistent.
I am.
Yeah. So I finally break down.
Well, I want to stop. Man. I wouldn't be persistent if I didn't think you had some great things to talk about. So, okay.
All right. So he gets a video out of me about my California adventures and golds and gemstones and different things up in there.
Stone Bear, the ancient structure.
So Terry has this old map that is hand drawn by one of his friends he worked with at Geneva 20 years earlier, and so by this time we've got to know each other a little bit, and we had a mutual friend, June Bleish, and we had been out exploring with June together a couple times and got to know Terry a little bit. And Terry calls me and says, hey, I got this map about a stone bear, because I had showed him a map that I had about an old stone ancient structure up in the same part of the country, and thought maybe it was related to your story, had related to what I knew. And so we set up an appointment with his friend Mark that he worked with a long time ago, and we went over to Mark's house, and Mark starts telling us about this story about this stone carved bear, not full size, intricacy on it, the teeth, the ears, the snout. And matter of fact, if you watch the video, him and his brother, when they found it, or him and his dad, when they found it, seen it in a rainstorm in the evening and thought it was a bear going to attack them because it looked so lifelike. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And so we start doing some trips up into the Uintas together. We even rented a Cessna plane to fly over the area and take a look down in there and see if we could see that structure and whatnot. So one thing led to another, and I ended up doing the video and did another one on the bear. And Jim, the one you just got done seeing on this little clip, he's at the laundromat, had watched that video and was up there behind Moon Lake looking for that bear. So when he sees me at the laundromat, he says, what are you doing out there? He says, I'm looking for a bear.
Well, he called you out by name.
Called me out by my first name, and that was really weird to me because...
You thought you knew him or what?
Yeah, I looked at myself, and the first thing, what did I say to you, Jim? I said, do I know you?
Right.
I said, do I know you? How do you know me? And he says, well, I seen you on a video. And he's good with names and good with faces, obviously, you know, because I see him at the laundromat in Duchesne of all places, and he recognizes me, and I felt a little weird about it. I thought, well, maybe this is not a meeting by chance. Maybe this is a meeting that was kind of means something, that he's there all the way from Nebraska because he watched one.
And he runs into you.
Yeah, and runs into me. They're just a freak coincidence. And of course, I don't believe in coincidences, so I went with it. I says, well, I got to talking to him, invited him over to the house, and one thing led to another. And we went up there looking for that stone bear with Terry's authority. And we went up in there, and he says, man, because Jim had been up there hiking around and got a little depressed because he'd just been hiking all over the mountains and hadn't seen anything.
It's a big, vast area.
Yeah. So he decided he'd come down off the mountain and do his laundry and stuff and run into me. And I says, you know, I'm going to be going up looking for that bear if you'd like to go. So Jim went up there, was hiking around, looking for the bear and whatnot. But man, I got to step back a little bit.
So I gotta ask you, man.
Yeah.
Are the Utah guys stuck up, man?
No, they are very friendly.
He kind of took you out there and showed you around.
Yes.
I'm
And,
kind of pissed off, Mike, that you're showing him where the bear is. No, man.
And it was beautiful country.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
But you didn't find no bear. I'm kind of pissed off, Jim.
But
you didn't help me.
learned.
I'm kind of pissed off, Jim. You didn't help me find that bear.
Mike taught me? I know. Hey, we're not done. We're still looking for that bear.
We're still looking for that bear.
But I learned how to follow game trails and discovered different types of animal feces in there that you wanted to avoid.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. He was not only taking me to places, but he was also educating me on how to get through that terrain.
So we get back down out of the mountains looking for the bear, and of course dry run like they usually are. You go up there and you have to go a long time and be persistent and keep driving and keep driving and keep driving to find this stuff. So we get back down and we hadn't found a bear, and I said, you know what, Jim? I said, I'll take you to a place that I call the bowels of the earth, and where you can slip down. You don't know you can get in there because it just looks like a floor. You get down, it looks like a floor, but there's a little crevice you can go back in, and it drops you way down in there. And I told him, I said, before I take you up there, Jim, I want to know, are you gutsy? Because you got to be brave to go down in here, because it's just tight in places before it opens up in there. And I says, if you're brave and you can go down in there, I'll take you. So I took him up there, and we parked up on the road because it's against the law to take your wheelers and stuff off-road, and you get tickets for off-road travel, and it's just a bad deal. So I take him to this spot, and we walk, and we finally get there, and Jim looks at it, and he kind of assesses it, and he practices, so he practices doing some rappelling off the side right there to get down in there. A couple times he starts practicing rappelling. He gets pretty good at it. So I says, I felt comfortable enough for him to go ahead and rappel down in there. And then taught Birdman here how to rappel so that when he got in tight places and cliffs and places he needed to go, he knew how to rappel.
That's right.
Birdman now has his own rappelling gear.
Nice job, Robert.
I bought all the rappelling gear ready to go again.
Yeah. So take Jim there and get him hooked up on the rope, and he gets down in there and gets going to the side, and it's spooky. I mean, you got to really have your wits about you and not get a little bit worried about it. And Jim got down in there pretty decently down in there, and then he come back out of there. So still to this day, nobody's been to the bottom.
So, and I just heard Jim say, man, he ran out of rope, he didn't have enough, and Jim says he's going back. Now I want a full report of this, Jim.
Yeah, full
All right.
report, Jim.
So,
Are you coming with me?
well, heck yeah.
Okay.
So, because I
Bring 2
probably,
ropes.
so I probably missed this. So Jim, you came to the rendezvous. You met a lot of great people, and there in Utah are gathering, and you met some Utah guys, and I don't know if this got cut off the video or not. So, man, Utah guys, some people think they're jerks, man, but how are they?
Well, there's jerks everywhere,
Yeah, that's true.
but I avoid them like the plague. You guys, we're still together. And,
Hey.
yeah, and
And-
I'll see you at the next rendezvous.
Yeah, and I think I probably missed this on the videotape. Me and Mike came down to the Dutch Hunters Rendezvous to meet Sal. Because Sal, there's nobody that knows more about these mountains, than old Salvador Del Gadillo. And who do we run into, man?
The
Jim
Utah boys.
and Jim and Robert, who I met at at our rendezvous, the Utah rendezvous. So, and we got Daryl Lane with us here, who's been in several of my videos, who's got incredible stories to tell. And we're out here helping him find his grandmother's old gold mine here in the Superstition Mountains.
And I think we probably found the area.
We probably found the area. So, with that said, man, this is a campfire story around the campfire in the Superstition Mountains here at the base. And that's a wrap.